Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to the 5th Christmas 2021 update from Gaz Weather Vid. So here we go again, trying to bring you another Christmas update. I said that they would start getting more regular from the middle of November, and now we're going to be doing them every other day. So our last update, update number 4, was on Saturday, update number 5 here on Sunday. A little bit earlier than normal because we're releasing part 2 of the 11th Winter 2021-2022 update this evening at 7 PM. So I've had to pull the Christmas update back to earlier in the day. But it means you get like a Christmas update and a winter update on the same day, which is pretty exciting, isn't it? Let's be honest, that's pretty exciting, maybe. I don't know. But I shall get on with the 5th Christmas update for you in a moment, and we'll see what the long-range CFS is showing. Just say about the first video today was our 7 AM upload. We've got a 10 to 14 day coming up for you shortly, and then, as I say, we'll have a part 2 of the 11th winter update release at 6 PM this evening. Please like, share, subscribe on all of the videos. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that for Gav's Weather Vids. Thank you so much to Rich for the incredible Christmas updates gift. Thank you so much, Rich, for the gift. I love it. I love that gift. Thank you so much. So festive, so seasonal. That doesn't get you in the mood for Christmas. I don't think anything will. In fact, it makes me want to rush out into the kitchen and get a mince pie, which I might go and do right now. No, I won't. I'll do Christmas update first, and then I'm going to get a mince pie. But yeah, thank you so much to Rich for the incredible gift. I love it. Right, we're going to move over to Weather Central in a moment. Just say that the storyline with these Christmas updates so far is that we've got a trend for a mild Christmas. Done 4 updates, 3 out of the 4 updates up to now. 3 out of the 4 have been showing a mild Christmas. Last update, update number 4, was exceptionally mild for Christmas, actually, with a long fetch southwesterly from, you know, the tropical Atlantic or something. So we've had 3 out of 4 that are mild, 1 that was cold. We shall see what update number 5 has got to say very, very short. Just say, but we can't tell you the weather on Christmas Day exactly, so we can't tell you that it's going to do this, this, and this at 3 PM on Christmas Day afternoon. It's much too far away to be able to do that. We're looking for trains within the model around the Christmas period, so talking about early to mid-December, to late December, to early to mid-January, in that sort of first half of winter Christmas type period. And if we get the same trend cropping up, you know, over successive updates, then we can say that we've got a trend. Right, okay, so all that explained, let's move over to weather then, and we're going to have a look at Surface V2 once again. Now, with this, of course, we're using the 12Z, so we endeavour to use the same run all of the time. CFS is run 4 times a day, but we always try and use the 12Z, for no particular reason other than that, just the one that we've traditionally used over the years. It should not make any difference to any particular outcome. You know, one run does not favour a colder or a milder scenario over another run. They should all be pretty random. So the 12Z is just one that we choose, and we try and pick that all the time, then we can't be accused of cherry picking. This is purely how the updates are coming out. Right, so on the 1st of December, we've got a very interesting chart to start us off, haven't we? We've got a mid-Atlantic ridge heading up towards Greenland, and a northerly wind is setting in. Got a northerly blast there. Let's have a look at the 850 temperatures. They look pretty cold. We've got the -10 celsius ice firm into northern parts, or just to the north of Scotland. So, yeah, you know, is this going to be an exciting Christmas update? Let's see what happens. So, we're going to run through the opening days of December. We bring an area of low pressure into that cold air. That will probably deliver a snow event through the opening couple of days of December. Then high pressure ridging down through the country. That's keeping cold weather in over the country. We've lost the northerly blast that we had there on the 1st day of December, but it's certainly keeping things pretty cold under that area of high pressure. Now we're up to the 6th of December. Low pressure is going to try and push in from off the Atlantic and dislodge that cold air, and indeed it is. So we get to the 7th of December, and now we're drawing up a much milder southerly wind. Be a band of rain pushing north and east, which might involve some snow on the leading edge. Of course, it comes into the cold air, but the main thing is that after a cold start to December, we are breaking the Atlantic back through and turning things a lot milder. Into the second week of December, we look pretty unsettled here and mild, with low pressure coming in off the Atlantic. That will bring outbreaks of rain and really mild temperatures as well, with winds pushing up from the south and from the southwest. So we started looking interesting on the first day of December, but things have very quickly gone back to like Atlantic driven and zonal type weather. Now up to the middle of December, and we bring more low pressure in from off the Atlantic, bringing further bouts of rain, but again, at least it's pretty mild. Right, moving up towards, whoops, let's try and stop that, shall we? Moving up towards, where are we? Moving up towards, I started playing that then, didn't I? So, what am I going to do? Let's go through there. Okay, so that went a little bit wrong, didn't it? I'll have to be careful about that in the future with the arrow key. So, we got to the middle of December with low pressure coming in off the Atlantic. There we go. So, here we go, into the second half of December, looking unsettled and still mild and Atlantic driven with winds in from the southwest. We're heading up towards Christmas, and again we're looking Atlantic driven, looking out very wet and windy on the 20th of December, severe gale force winds, but again we're drawing in the air from the southwest, so that would be really mild as well. Now 21st of December looks a little bit cold and showery, but it's all still coming in off the Atlantic. You notice there's no sort of high pressure within high latitudes, no high pressure around Greenland, no high pressure around Iceland. It's all sort of high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north and northwest. Atlantic driven, wet, windy and mild for the eve of Christmas Eve there on the 23rd of December. That is Christmas Eve itself, which is Friday 24th of December. That's looking very mild, wet and windy as well. Deep area of low pressure coming in off the Atlantic. So it's going to be another mild Christmas, I think. Update number 5 delivering another mild, wet and windy Christmas. That is Christmas Day. Probably a little bit more towards showers, maybe a little bit cooler, but it's mild still. Mild stuff this, with winds still in off the Atlantic, still from the west, still low pressure bringing mild wind and rain, mild temperatures and wind and rain in from the Atlantic. Boxing Day maybe starting to tilt with a little bit in towards the northwest, slight ridging in the Atlantic, so might be a little bit cooler for Boxing Day there. Maybe a few winter showers in the north. Now, 27th of December, which this year is going to be a bank holiday, we build the high pressure in off the Atlantic, so that's turning drier and is a little bit cooler as well. That high pressure then beginning to set up over the country as we go to 28th of December, which again, this year is a bank holiday. And that high pressure is moving towards Scandinavia, so we come towards the end of December now, between Christmas and New Year, and we begin to try and pull in easterly winds. Now, how successful that's going to be, I don't know, because the high pressure over Scandinavia looks pretty flimsy. We still have plenty of low pressure in the Atlantic, so what's going to happen here? Let's have a look. So we strengthen the high pressure over Scandinavia. Okay, so we start getting colder as we get towards the New Year. So we have a mild, wet, windy Christmas, but we start to turn it quite a lot colder with Scandinavian high and easterly winds setting in for the New Year. Remember, we're just looking at this for the trend around the period. So, you know, if New Year is looking cold, then that's not far from Christmas, and you know, it's interesting when that happens. So we've got a 1,035 millibar area of high pressure over Scandinavia. We're bringing in the wind from the east. Let's have a look at the upper air temperatures with that. So actually, it's still relatively mild with the upper air temperatures down in the south. Maybe a little bit surprisingly so. We have got cold upper air temperatures, though, further north, because that kind of detail not really to be taken overly seriously anyway. New Year's Day is going to find low pressure rain coming back in off the Atlantic, so that's Scandinavian high. You know, it looked pretty weak, didn't it? I don't think it's going to be able to withstand the Atlantic onslaught. So into early January, we're back into much milder weather. We're pulling the wind up from the south here, although still looking pretty blocked actually to our north and east. So this is an interesting update, this update number 5. It's not particularly cold in its own terms, except right at the beginning of December. But there are, you know, a few interesting things going on with the overall weather pattern. That's the 4th of January, where we're actually bringing up like a southerly type wind. So it's pretty mild, but that southerly's happening because we've got all of the blocking to the northeast combined with the low pressure out to our west. Now we're going to go further on into early January, and we're going to bring more low pressure in off the Atlantic, so it never really gets that cold, this, although we aren't far away from it. You know, we aren't far away from turning things really quite wintry, but it never quite comes off one way or another, one way or t'other. Now into the second week of January, I won't go much further than this because we're well beyond Christmas now. And we're still maintaining generally mild Atlantic-driven weather. I think that's about as far as we're going to go. There's a little bit of a cold snap there around the 14th, 15th of January. But overall, yeah, you know, this is another mild one. This is another mild update going into the second half of January. Perhaps a little bit cooler, but we're beyond Christmas now. This is another mild Christmas update, clearly. So the trend is definitely there in the early stages of these Christmas updates. We are in the very early stages. Trend is there for a mild Christmas. That said, there is some cold weather patterns going on, but it doesn't necessarily get all that cold. So early December, we have some, you know, open gale to December. We have northern blocking, but the CFS very quickly eradicates that, which is always very strange when the CFS does that, because generally northern blocking, seen over green, and it will last a little bit longer than that. But never mind, we'll move on from that. So cold opening days of December, otherwise mild, wet, and windy through most of December, and then up towards the new year, we try and turn things colder via a Scandinavian high. Doesn't really come to a great deal, and then we're back into milder, wetter, and windier stuff into early January. There is always blocking, though, in January to the north and the east, or early January to the north and to the northeast. So we wait and see. We wait and see what update number 6 has to say. And we'll be doing that on Wednesday. Much more frequent now with the winter update. So update number 6 will be coming up for you on Wednesday. Will we get a cold Christmas showing up in one of these updates? I think we will before too much longer, but we're going to have to wait for it a little bit longer. Okay, that is your 5th Christmas 2021 update. If you enjoyed it, then please smash the like button. Make sure to sub to our channel. Thank you so much. And drop a comment. We'll be back shortly with the 10 to 14 there. And then we've got part 2 of the 11th winter update coming up for you at 6 PM this evening. For the 5th Christmas 2021 update, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.